If you're like me, then you've lived through several seasons of your life where things have been either really high and things are going well, or you've been in a season where it's super tough and you don't even know what the next day is going to look like. I mean, survival mode, right? Well, no matter what season you're in, it's important that you embrace your season because this is a time for you to learn, grow, and be more effective in the next season that you have ahead of you. So with my 3 strategies I am going to share with you in today's episode, we're going to talk about how you can use these strategies to move forward in the season that you're currently in, how to embrace it, and to be prepared for your next season. Hi guys, Adora here and welcome to the channel. If this is your first time, I would like to say welcome. If you like these kind of episodes, feel free to subscribe and also hit the notification because we have new episodes every week. And if you are a returning viewer, I just want to say thank you so much for trusting me with your quality time during this video. So when it comes to embracing your season, there are a few things that you want to keep in mind. And my number one strategy for doing this is to not compare yourself to others. And that means wondering why someone else is doing better than you. With social media, this can be super easy to do, but this happens throughout all of our lives, right? Even as children, you can try to look over and say, well, why that person has a better lunch than me? Or why did their parent come visit me at school? And then as we get older, we start having those same comparisons. We're wondering why this person has a better grade than me. And then it gets further. Why does this person have a better job than me? Why are they making more money? And so these things steal from you, especially as God put you in this season for a reason. If you're looking over the fence or you're looking to see if grass is greener somewhere else, you're going to miss your opportunity to really hone in and get better at who you are. So skip the comparison and go straight for learning exactly who you are. And how do you do this? I know you're asking this, Dora, how do you do this? Well, there are a couple of ways that I want to talk about this. For one, you want to explore things that you like. So for me, I'm not really a naturey person, but I am very creative. So I like to do things that cause me to be creative, whether it's putting new artwork together, going out and doing a painting event with friends, whether it's daydreaming or thinking about the future. So I'll sometimes write down in my journal things that I would like to see. These are all things that help me to creatively think about my future. So I want you to think about what do you like doing and to do more of it because it helps you not only relax during this tough season, but it also helps you look forward without wondering, why am I not in a better situation like this person here? It kills the whole comparison thing altogether. And then secondly, when you're thinking about who you are, you want to think about your past. So what are the things in your past that have made you who you are today? Were there certain people in your life? Were there experiences that are unforgettable experiences that some people will never have? Were there times where you stood out from the crowd, where you made a decision or you went a different direction maybe, and this has really affected you in a positive way? I want you to hold on to that because those are the things that make us who we are, and those are the things that make us unique. And as soon as you hold on to that, you don't have any reason to compare yourself because you're going to be able to use those things to bring to the table as you move on into your new season. Now, the second strategy I use for embracing my seasons are always to think outside of the box. So like I said before, there's usually a reason why you're in this season. There may be a particular situation that caused you to be in this season, but God does things for a particular reason. And we don't know what those reasons are, but it's our job to embrace where we are. And so as you think outside of the box, you want to start thinking creatively about what can I do next in my next season that maybe I learned in this current season that I'm in. So for instance, if you're going through a layoff, you want to think about what is next for me? What do I want to see next in my life? Now, I've gone through a layoff plenty of times, but this last one was kind of a turnaround for me. I had to think outside the box. So I got all the way to almost a year at this particular company, and the next following week would have been my week anniversary. So I get on a call with my manager, and I'm thinking we're about to talk about, whatever this project was we were working on. And he says, "Hey, Adora, unfortunately, we're going to have to let you go, even though that your anniversary is next week." So I had a couple of things going through my mind, obviously, right? Trying to survive, paying bills, what's next for me. But if I didn't think creatively outside of the box, I wouldn't have gone through the journey that I am now. So during the time after I got laid off, I had to figure out what was next for me. What did I really want to see? And for me, that was entrepreneurship. So I decided to give it a go. And today I have a company of my own. Now, if I hadn't thought outside of the box and I had to let this situation get me down, there would be no room for growth. I may have probably been laid off more and more times within that same situation, the same scenario. So that's why it's important that you think outside of the box, especially if you don't want to have to keep repeating these type of seasons, right? So if for you, it may just be a career change. You may be looking to grow in another sector. You may be trying to get into another area of your career. No matter what season you're in, you want to step back and think about, what do I want to see in my new season, and how can I take the experiences that I have right now and move into that season? Thinking outside of the box is what's going to help you move forward. So I want you to think about, how can you look into your life and move and think outside of the box? If you see a bunch of people going that way, you want to think to go the opposite direction. You want to stand out from the crowd, and you want to set yourself up to be ahead. And I've always done this by researching new topics, researching new places to be, researching people that I'm extremely interested in. Even if I can't get a hold of those people, how can I be in the circle of other people who are already around those people? These areas are going to help you as you move forward in trying to get out of this season, but also coming out of the season better prepared for your next season. So there's so many ways that you can think outside of the box, but that's exactly what you want to do. My third strategy for embracing your season is embracing and adapting and being flexible to change. Now, I know what you're thinking, Adora. That one is tough. No one wants to do change. No one wants to just be flexible to change. We like things the way they are. Our routines are our routines for a reason, right? And I totally understand that. But when we are not adaptable to change, good things pass us by. And we don't want to be passed by in this next season. So what does it mean to embrace change? Well, if you're moving into a different environment, if you've lost friends or you're trying to build and grow new friendships, if you're in your career and, like we were saying earlier, it's time to find another path for you, those are all changes. And some changes can feel even worse. Some changes are, you've had a recent death in the family, or someone's sick in your family, or someone moved really far away, you have no contact with them anymore. Those are all things that you have to be adaptable to change. And I know, even though those are tough changes, those changes affect who you are and how you move into your next season. And so it can be tough to embrace those types of changes. But what I always do, no matter what situation, even those tough kind of changes, is to really be able to say, even though this has happened to me, these are the ways that I want to move out of this change. These are still my goals. These are still the things that I look forward to. And this is the perfect time to lean on God and ask Him, God, what is your will for me? How do I get to the next place that I want to be? And even though it's uncomfortable, how do I embrace change? How do I move forward with change? One of the ways that has been really effective for me when it comes down to change is being around others who are positive, just positive people. People who have a certain era about them, they have a certain outlook about them, and you can hear it in their words. Positivity just spills out of them. It can really help you in a tough season, especially when you're going through a life change. But no matter what change it is, you want to make sure that you're flexible, because sometimes God throws curveballs, and sometimes we need to catch them. And we won't catch them if we're doing our same routine over and over and over again. And I'll use the example of entrepreneurship again. I originally wanted to stay in corporate. I thought that was the route I was supposed to go. But when I kept having several curveballs of being laid off, then I knew that God was trying to tell me something. And so it was important for me to be able to adapt to change. So that meant researching what entrepreneurship means. How do I become a really successful person, personally and through business? And how can I share my knowledge with other people from what I've learned? That's exactly what you want to do when you are embracing a life change. You want to look and say, how can I learn from this change? And then what can I do steps-wise, actionable step-wise, to get around people who are also flexible to change, who are positive and want to instill into me. So before we go, I want to read out of Romans. I think it's a really good passage for our message today. And this is going to be coming from Romans 12:2. It says, don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing, keyword, changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. Again, that's Romans 12:2. So God wants you to also embrace change. And God wants you to think positively. So even if you're in a tough season right now where things are not going so well, what are the things that you would like to see in your positive season? And what can you learn from this time period? I remember there were so many times, especially in a lot of my low seasons, where I had no idea why I was there. I look back today and I'm like, well, the reason I was there was to learn how to get along with these type of people, or to find and embrace these other kind of people, to find and embrace different projects that I like working on. I would have never had those kind of experiences if I hadn't went through the seasons of toughness and drought. And so I want you to take these 3 strategies that we talked about today, and I'm hoping that they were helpful and that you can move forward no matter what season you're in and start embracing your season. So I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.